Hey, what's up guys? Alex at Hypnotech. How you doing? The Blue R1 HD is a very hyped device, and rightfully so. For as low as $50, you are getting an experience that potentially rivals devices 3 times the price with only a few minor compromises. And one of those compromises is the Amazon ads that will pollute your lock screen. Blue garnered a deal with Amazon to sell this phone at a discounted price, and in exchange, Amazon was allowed to apply their ads onto your lock screen. This is a minor annoyance that ultimately could be very beneficial to consumers with a tight budget. The model we have here uses a MediaTek 6735 processor alongside a Mali T720 GPU, an upgraded 2 GB of RAM, and 16 GB of onboard storage. This combination of specs is $10 more, but I highly recommend upgrading to this if you are purchasing this device. With the 2 GB of RAM, the R1 HD performs surprisingly adequate when navigating through Android Marshmallow 6.0. You'll run into the occasional hiccup here and there, but to the uninitiated user, you'd be hard-pressed to guess that this was only a $60 phone. I'm actually quite impressed that the R1 is this smooth, and that I was having a good user experience overall. And for $60, this may very well be the cheapest entry to a Marshmallow device, as lower priced phones usually ship with outdated software. But one aspect that deters many potential users from Blue phones is the fact that they are notorious for their lack of software support. It may be because this phone has received a lot of attention, but I've gotten 2 updates already in the first month of owning this phone. That's a good sign that Blue may be improving their ways. My favorite part to review on all of the devices is without a doubt the display. After all, our eyes do stare at it non-stop. The R1 gives you a 5-inch 720p IPS display that for some reason I kept mistaking for an AMOLED screen during the first couple days I used it. It is interesting to note, however, that the colors were pretty warm and vibrant, which catered to my taste and are usually traits of an AMOLED display. It is a very acceptable screen that feels high quality thanks to the curved glass. Like a majority of budget devices, the R1 is made of plastic, but unlike many stereotypical phones under $100, it does feel very solid in your hand. The back is a soft touch plastic that is removable, revealing a micro SD card slot and 2 micro SIM slots. So this is a dual SIM phone, so that's awesome to have, especially in a budget device. But if you are coming from a nano SIM device, you're going to need an adapter in order to fit your SIM card. Battery life seems pretty good here. We are looking at a 2500 milliamp hour battery, 5-inch display, 720p resolution, and a MediaTek processor that doesn't seem too power hungry, so that's a good little mesh here. I am getting about 3.5 hours of screen on time with this phone with my usage, just slightly altered, which meant slightly less gaming, less Pokemon Go. But I am a power user due to my line of work, so for the mass majority of you, you should be getting no problem out of you shouldn't get anything less than a day out of the Blue R1 HD. But we do not have quick charge on this. No form of quick charging on this phone. So that might be a deal breaker to some because if you're like me and you're used to quick charging, it just totally changes the game plan when you base your day around charging. The weakest aspect of the Blue R1 HD is probably the camera, but that isn't really a negative. We can't honestly expect a flagship level experience by paying only 10% of a flagship price after all. I didn't have high expectations in the 5 megapixel front camera, nor did I have it for the 8 megapixel f2.0 back camera. However, what we got was actually quite usable. In bright, clear lighting, the pictures were decent, although clearly there was some generated noise. Autofocus seems to miss here and there, causing photos to be slightly out of focus and overexposed. And you can forget about using this in low light. The selfie camera is very washed out as well. There is a lot of noise here, and it reminds me of mobile phone cameras from 2013. Still, it could be, and I have seen much worse from more expensive devices. While using the R1 HD, I kept asking myself, at what point should I stop saying that this is a good phone for the price point and just flat out say it's a good phone? And that's where my dilemma ultimately comes in, because this phone gives me everything a phone should give me in 2016. It performs admirably, decent. It plays all the games I want it to play without too much of any problems. It actually performs the games pretty well. And I'm shocked to say the build quality is pretty good because I've used glass phones and metal phones that were 3 times the price of this phone, and I actually really like how this feels in my hand. And I feel like, though, that a lot of people are overrating this phone, and it's a decent phone, but when we factor in the $60 price point, we elevate it to an excellent phone. And that in itself is incorrect. This is a good phone, make no mistake about it, but we are nowhere near the OnePlus 3 or Axon 7 or S6 or iPhone 6S. You know, we're not up there. We're not at excellent territory. We're at good territory. And I'm guilty of this too. I see the price point and see how it overperforms the price point, and I kind of elevate it a little more than it should be. But even with that said, I am really excited about what Blue has put out here, and I think for just about anybody, it's very difficult not to recommend this phone. We are reaching, at $60, we are reaching close to impulse buying territory, if not already hitting impulse purchase territory. For the general working consumer, $60 is very affordable. And even if you don't need a smartphone right now, heck, you can buy this thing. It has an SD card slot. You can throw in an SD card in there, download some emulators, get a Moga controller or any Bluetooth controller, and use this as an emulator machine when you go travel. So pretty crazy what we have here for $60. And just a few years ago in 2012, 13, this might have been close to $1,000. So it's a great time to live in. It's a great time to be a consumer. But once again, my name is Alex from Septo Tech. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, and comment. And there's probably a video playing here by now if it hasn't been playing for a while. We are giving away the BLU R1 HD and the Moto G4 as part of our 1,000 subscribers giveaway. You know, we hit 1,000 subscribers a couple weeks ago, and we are very excited to give away the BLU R1 HD and the Moto G4. So check out that video if you haven't yet for your chance to win. And I will be back very soon with more videos in the future. I'll see you guys next time.